All right, guys, so elbow tendonitis technically sucks. I mean, it sucks so much, and it's not just for athletes. People get it all the time. Sometimes you don't realize how much we grip and then how much we go into this typing kind of phase. There is tennis and golfer's elbow, and it doesn't mean you have to be a tennis player or a golfer. As a martial artist, I've dealt with inner, so medial and lateral pain consistently. And it really depended on how much volume I was doing and gripping, because when you're gripping a weapon or you're gripping a racket or a golf club or anything, if you're gripping a lot, rock climbers are actually it's really common for rock climbers to get these issues too. The general prescription is going to be ice on and off, do all of this stuff to kind of mitigate the pain and the inflammation, which is totally fine. But it's not going to heal this issue, and it's not going to get you in a place where you can rebalance the muscles and actually get pain-free. I've worked with countless athletes, myself. Martial arts, it's very typical. Gripping a weapon of different sizes is going to put a lot of leverage and a lot of strain, and we're all highly imbalanced when it comes to our flexors and extensors, okay? So you have to understand, if you're gripping a lot, okay, then obviously there becomes an imbalance between this and this area here, and then that puts a lot of strain on the tendons and on the joints, and then that's where you feel that pain. What you don't want is chronic pain. So what you're going to do with these exercises is, if you are in pain now, you are going to listen to my voice. You're going to do this every single day. If you're in pain, 1 rep max, so as many as you can do for 1 rep, okay? As you start to get more and more pain-free, it's not going to happen instantly, although if you are in pain now and you're feeling this and you do this, you will find some relief, which is awesome. It's actually crazy. If you're in a lot of pain and you can do these exercises now, you'll find some relief. Obviously, you're not going to heal overnight, but I can tell you that within 2 to 3 weeks of doing this consistently, it will take you 5 minutes a day, you are going to see a lot of relief. And then as you start to feel more normal, right, with this, and look, the longer you've had it, the longer it will take to get rid of it. It's not going to take years or months. You will see relief in a few weeks, I promise you. You're going to do this every day for 1 max rep, and then what you're going to do is not just abort mission the moment that you feel better and you feel no more pain. If you're someone that grips constantly and is still active in sports or has dealt with this issue, sometimes lifters deal with it, right? What we're going to do is we're going to have this as an upkeep routine at least twice a week. You can do some of these as warm-ups or cool downs after your training, but you want to keep them in your life, and they're very simple and they're very different from what you're going to see as a prescription from your doctor or even your physio. Most of this is derived from rock climbers who have dealt with these issues for a long time, and I promise you this will get you relief. And if you're starting to feel the onset of this, you're also going to find yourself just curbing it right away, right? So if I'm holding a lot of weapons, or if I'm doing a lot of martial arts, I'm going to do a lot of weapons work. I'm going to do this, several times a week to make sure I don't fall back into this pain, because it is very debilitating. So let's get into it. You're going to need a couple things. It's not a lot. You do want to purchase this. These are the best things ever. What the name is, I don't know, but I'll link this up with. So there's different ones, and if you don't have this, it's okay, because we're going to use a rubber band. Now, eventually you do want to get these. So this is what you do at your work desk anywhere. The reason I have this bench here is because in order to isolate a joint, we want to immobilize the rest of the body. So everything that I do is going to be, watch me right here. Now this can be your work desk, it could be a bench, it could be anything in the house. You don't have to have a workout bench, but I'm going to do everything by placing my elbow in and immobilizing this elbow. So before we even get to the bands, let's say you don't have them now and you want to start this right away, you can start this without the bands, but eventually you will need the bands. When I'm at my work desk and I want to do this, I go like this. Okay, so again, you can immobilize this way, just lean over, put this down. The reason we're doing this is if you don't do this, what's going to happen is you're going to start to move other joints. We want to isolate the area, okay? So, no band yet. Boom. On your knee or anywhere, Hands down. This could be a great warm-up before you start playing or doing anything. You're going to push in, isolate this. Again, you can do it seated on your elbow, and you're going to do two things. You're going to open. You're going to be the most interesting person in the room. You're going to open, and not just down, but open. And you want to take this seriously. It's very simple. Open and go as far as you can, and close, go as far as you can. Now, you're going to do this with the band, especially one set to fatigue, okay? So when you can't go any further. If you find that your hands can't open, they're like here, right? They're stuck together like a T-Rex. It's a great indication of how much better or less pain you're gonna feel the moment that you start to do these, because you're gonna find that range of motion quickly. Okay, so lots of compensation there, specifically flexors and extensors. So open, get as far back and close. So let's say that you can do an infinite number, then go slower, really open. You're gonna feel this muscle really working. And on the way back, you're gonna feel this muscle working. That's what we want, okay? We don't wanna just like do this, and we wanna take it seriously and make the most out of our time. So I already feel this, and for those of you experiencing pain now, you're gonna feel this right into the joint right away. If you don't curb this issue, you will start to feel this in the shoulder, and then that's gonna go to the neck and all sorts of issues. Now, when I finish these, so let's say you can do an infinite number, do a good 15 to 20, maybe 10, but if you're fatigued and everything's cramping up, do as many as you can. You're gonna turn the palm down. So what we do this way, we do this way. Push in, and one more time, much harder, much more difficult. So right here, in terms of just opening the palms. So again, same, max rep. Now let's say you have pain only on the left side. You gotta do left and right, okay? Don't be one of those people that's just working one side. So just manage it on the other side, okay? Do the same. It's crazy how different it feels for me because this is my dominant weapons hand, right? So for a lot of you athletes or those working with different things, this might feel very easy, this might feel very difficult, okay? But do both sides. So if you have a band, which you really do need and you want, you're gonna do this. This is amazing. And I'll show you kind of like the poor man's way of doing it, as Steve Maxwell used to tell me. Obviously, the further down on the joint you get with these, the easier it is. So if the band feels heavy, just get it further down below little joints. And it is a clear difference. You do need these. They're not expensive. They're a great investment. Look at that. Okay, boom, and here we go. Oh, that's work. I'm trying to open, trying to close. You might even want to do a first set without and a first set with. Here, you're definitely going to fatigue at 8, 9, 10, whatever. You'll see within the week that the reps go up, so you'll get stronger, right? And right away, I was feeling my elbow today, and I'm not feeling it right now. So it's an amazing indication, and for all of you, and if you were going to go play, let's say you can do a set of these before and after. Max rep, look at how hard this is. This is a pretty tight one. So you want to boom. So ideally, if you're just starting, I would say no weight and then rubber bands. Now, what happens if you don't have one of these? Check that. I can't account for my hair right now. Look, here we go. Now, this is kind of fun. You're gonna want to, like I turn, I always get this wrong, I turn and I turn, I got it, and look what I made. I made one for myself. So I made the resistance around. This isn't a great one, but you can do that. This is not a great one. You need a little bit of a good like rubber band is good. And then the same, so you can put it around your fingers and you can do it this way, but I promise you want to invest in these. Just from those two exercises, so we have the non-weighted immobilized and the weighted, or the ones with the bands, you're gonna feel an extreme amount of relief. And if you're starting to see the onset of this, you're gonna see right away, you're gonna curb it, okay? If you're starting to, very commonly from this, you will travel up to the shoulder joint, most typically the anterior, the front part of the shoulder, and the bicep tendon. You're gonna see that once you start to do these and mitigate this, you're gonna have less issues here. Now, there's a few more, okay? So you can do these synonymously, or if this is really fatiguing, like I feel these muscles charged up, and you almost feel the flexors and extensors. You start to feel the totality of the arm. You can't just do one, you gotta do both. So when you're done with those, you can do this at a separate time or not. You've gotta do this again, immobilizing, so either here or here, so I pull my elbows in or I put them in here, okay? Because if you start to just sway your hands, you're gonna use other areas. So I'm gonna do it this way. Again, you could be seated. We're gonna be here. I typically time this for a minute, okay? We're gonna do this from my count of 15 seconds, and then you should have a timer at 1 set. So what you're gonna do is palm, you're gonna flex the arms up as far as they can go. So the entire time I'm counting, you're gonna fight to pull the fingertips towards here and open up the fingers. So you're doing 2 movements that are isometric. You're trying to constantly get further and further back by using these muscles and also open the fingertips. So let's go to 15 seconds. Try this because it is gonna, again, give you instant relief. And again, it's pretty crazy how difficult this is for some people. So you're either seated with your hands here or here, tucked in, or my favorite here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, open, flex, and fight to keep pulling. So don't just be here hanging out thinking about your inbox. What you're essentially doing is pulling. You're working isometrically, right? So let's do this for 15, 14, keep pulling, like I feel it working, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, keep pulling, look at these muscles, look like Bruce Lee. 8, 7, 6, I'm making you do more than 15 seconds, obviously. 5, keep pulling, open those fingers up. 4, 3, 2, 1. That was exhausting. How amazing is that? But boom, you're strengthening these guys. These muscles have everything to do with the strain that you have here. You're also strengthening the wrists here and mobilizing, okay? And finally, the last one that we're gonna add in here is pretty simple, and then I'll give you some mobility as well. So don't stretch, but I'll give you mobility, is